this lesson, you'll learn how to play Kathy's song using your choice of two beautiful fingerpicking patterns. Now, I'll be using my tenor with low G tuning throughout the lesson, but feel free to follow along with high G tuning as well. Now, let's begin by looking at how to play the chords that are used in this song. We begin with our G chord. For G, we have our index and middle fingers covering the second fret of strings 3 and 1, and our ring finger covering the third fret of the second string. Next we have C. For C, we're covering the third fret of the first string using either our pinky or ring finger. And next we have A minor. For A minor, we're using either our middle finger or index finger on the second fret of the fourth string. Next is E minor. For E minor, we have our index finger on the second fret of the first string, middle finger on the third fret of the second string, and ring finger on the fourth fret of the third string. Next we have B minor 7. Now there are two ways you can form this chord shape. The first is to play it as a bar chord using your index finger across the second fret of all four strings. Here you can also use your middle finger against your index finger for additional support. The second way that you can form this chord shape is to use your index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky on the second fret of all four strings. Next we have B minor. Now for B minor, we are going to play this as a bar chord, once again using our index finger on the second fret across all four strings, and we're going to add our ring finger or pinky to the fourth fret of the fourth string. And finally we have our D chord. For D, we have our index, middle, and ring fingers covering the second fret of strings 4, 3, and 2. Next, we'll look at our first fingerpicking pattern, which is the easier of the two patterns, and then we'll walk through how to apply it to the song. Here's how our first pattern sounds, played slowly on a C chord. Faster tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. To play this pattern, we'll use our thumb, index finger, middle finger, and ring finger on strings 4 down to 1. We'll start by picking the first string, then the fourth string, third string, and we'll finish on the second string. Here's how pattern 1 sounds with high G tuning. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. To apply this pattern to the song, we'll play the pattern one time on each chord that appears in standard font. So looking at the first line of our verses, we start on our G chord, then we go to C, then another C chord, then back to G, finish with another G chord. In line 2, we go to A minor, then to E minor, then C, and then we have two patterns on B minor 7. Now let's count the rhythm of lines 1 and 2 of the verses at a slow tempo, starting on G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. apply our pattern one time to each chord in standard font. Now when we get to the end of the verse, I want to go over this section of G and C chords. This is a transition section that appears at the end of each verse, as well as the introduction and the outro of the song. For the G and C chords that appear in bold, these chords are held for a total of 4 beats combined. We're going to start with beats 1 and 2 on G, and then beats 3 and 4 on C. To do this, we'll begin with a G chord shape. We'll pick the first string, then the 4th string, and now to change over to C, we don't have to change over to a C chord shape. Instead, to make this easier, starting from our G chord shape, we can simply lift up our index finger, opening up the 3rd string, which is a C note, and then ending on the 2nd string with our ring finger still in place on the 3rd fret. This is a G note. Here's how we count this transition section at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. For an easier version here, you can ignore the C chords and play pattern 1 4 times on G. If you're enjoying this lesson, please show my channel some love by giving this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, then welcome. I'm Lara. I'm a musician and a composer, and I love to teach song tutorials and fingerstyle arrangements for all levels. If you'd like to support my channel and my teaching, by joining my Patreon community, you'll gain access to hundreds of downloads, including song sheets, fingerstyle tabs, and song books. The link is down below in the video description. For more of a challenge, next we'll look at our second fingerpicking pattern, how to apply it to the song, and some intermediate options. Here's our second pattern played slowly on a C chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and at a faster tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. To play this pattern, once again we'll use our thumb down to our ring finger on strings 4 down to 1. We'll begin by picking strings 1 and 2 together, then the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, and we end on the 3rd string. Here's how pattern 2 sounds with high G tuning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. To apply this pattern to the song, just like with pattern 1, we'll play pattern 2 one time on each chord that appears in standard font. So looking at the first line of the verses, we'll start by playing our pattern one time on G. Then we have 2 C chords, so we'll play our pattern twice on C. Then we go back to G. We have 2 more G chords to finish line 1. In line 2, we go to A minor, then to E minor, then to C, and now we have 2 B minor 7 chords to finish line 2. So let's count the rhythm of lines 1 and 2, applying pattern 2 at a slow tempo, starting on G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, verses, we'll play our pattern one time on each chord that appears in standard font. When we get to the end of the verse, where we have chords in bold, this is a transition section that appears at the end of each verse as well as the song introduction and the outro. For our G and C chords that appear in bold, these chords total 4 beats combined. And we're going to play this by starting on G and then changing to C. We'll change over to C by opening up the 3rd string, lifting up our index finger the same way we did with pattern 1. So we'll begin with our G chord shape, picking strings 1 and 2 together, then the 4th string, and then we'll lift up our index finger, playing the open 3rd string, 2nd string, and back to the 3rd string. So after this G and C combination, we have a G chord in standard font, so we'll go back to 1 full pattern on G, and then we'll repeat that. Here's how we count this transition section at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. For an easier version here, you can ignore the C chords and play pattern 2 4 times on G. Now the final intermediate challenge that I want to offer you falls on the 2nd G chord in line 3 of the verses. Here, instead of playing pattern 2, we can play a walk up on our G chord moving into C. To do this, we're going to start on our G chord, picking strings 1 and 2 together. Then we'll place our pinky on the 4th fret of the 4th string. And next we have the open 3rd string, and then the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Here you can use either your middle finger or your index finger. And then we move into our C chord to start the next pattern. Now let's count the rhythm of the entire 3rd line of the verses at a slow tempo, using pattern 2 and using this walk-up option on the 2nd G chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of the 6 verses throughout the song is played the same way using the same chord progression. And when we get to the final G chord at the end of the last verse, we can pick all 4 strings together. Next, we're moving into our play along, where you can play and sing the entire song along with me. Now, if you'd like a slower tempo to practice along with, you can change the playback speed of the video down in your video settings. I'm going to alternate between patterns 1 and 2, changing with each verse, but feel free to choose just one pattern and use it for the entire song. 5, 6, 7, 8. I hear the drizzle of the rain, like a memory it falls, soft and warm, continuing, tapping on my roof and walls. And from the shelter of my mind, through the window of my the song I was writing is left undone. I don't know why I spend my time writing songs I can't believe, with words that tear and string a rhyme. And so you see, I have come to doubt all that I once held as true. I stand alone without beliefs. The only truth I know is you. And as I watch the drops of rain weave their weary paths, and I know that I am like the rain, there but for the grace of you go I. I hope you enjoy learning Kathy's song using these beautiful patterns. Have fun practicing, and thanks for watching.